The life you're living isn't real. It's just one signal you've been unknowingly stuck on. From the outside, it looks like you're doing everything right. You wake up, go through the motions, chase goals, try to stay positive, maybe even read the books, say the affirmations, watch the manifestation videos. But underneath it all, something doesn't feel right. It's subtle, almost unspoken, a quiet tension, like the life you're living is slightly out of sync with something deeper you can't quite name. A faint knowing that there's more, not more stuff, more reality, more truth. And you're not wrong. You've been tuned into one timeline, one vibrational script, one familiar version of you that keeps looping. And what no one ever told you is this: it's not the only one. Right now, infinite versions of your life are vibrating in the quantum field. Some filled with joy, others with expansion, creativity, connection. Timelines where you're not just surviving, you're resonating with who you were always meant to be. The only reason you haven't stepped into them yet is because you haven't been shown how. Until now, everything you've been taught about time is wrong. You were taught it moves in a straight line, from past to future, from birth to death, from cause to effect. But that's not how reality works. Time is not a conveyor belt you're standing on. It's a field. And inside that field, there are infinite timelines already vibrating, already existing. Each one is a different expression of you. The one you're living now, it's just the one you've been tuned to. You didn't end up here by mistake. Your thoughts, emotions, nervous system, identity, every part of you has been transmitting a signal. And the quantum field, which contains all possible versions of you, simply reflects that signal back. It doesn't respond to your hopes, your wishes, or how badly you want things to change. It mirrors who you're being. That's the truth most people never hear. You are not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you're aligned with the frequency of a life you no longer want. Most people think they need to work harder, manifest louder, or visualize more vividly. But manifestation is not about forcing the quantum field into submission. It's about resonance. You collapse into a new timeline not by demanding it, but by becoming the version of you who naturally lives there. You don't need to convince the universe. You just need to stop broadcasting the signal of the life you're trying to escape. This is where people get caught. They say they want abundance, but their energy is tuned to lack. They speak affirmations of love, while their hearts remain closed in protection. They visualize success, but still embody the vibration of waiting. So nothing shifts. And eventually, they start to believe the field isn't listening. But the truth is, it's always listening. It's just listening deeper than your words. It listens to your nervous system, your emotional habits, your subconscious expectations. That's the real signal, and that's what needs to shift. Some knowledge is too raw for YouTube. That's why we created Insights Academy, our free newsletter where we go deeper. Sign up via the link in the description and receive a free digital copy of the Kybalion for a limited time. The quantum field is like a massive orchestra of possibility. Each timeline is a different song, already composed, already vibrating. But you only hear the one you're tuned to. You're not creating music from silence. You're tuning into what was always playing. That means you don't need to build your dream life from scratch. You just need to find the station where that life already exists and align with it. This changes everything, because it means you're not far away from the life you want, you're just out of sync with it. The version of you who already lives it isn't in the future. They're here, now, in the field, waiting to be collapsed into form, not through force, but through frequency, not through wishing, but through coherence. You don't shift timelines by effort. You shift them by embodiment. Your breath, your posture, your reactions, your tone of voice, they're all part of the transmission. And the more you bring them into harmony with the version of you who already lives the life you desire, the faster that reality crystallizes around you. So ask yourself, what signal have you been transmitting? Not what have you been saying, what have you been living? If someone could listen to your frequency instead of your words, what story would they hear? Because the field is always listening. The only question is, are you finally ready to change the station? You're not broken. You're not unmotivated. You're not cursed. And you're certainly not failing at manifestation. You're simply living in resonance with a timeline that your system has decided is safe, even if it feels limiting, heavy, or painfully small. This is one of the hardest truths to accept. The version of your life you're stuck in is the one your nervous system believes is predictable enough to survive. Not thrive, survive. From the outside, it may seem like your life is fine. You're functioning. You're doing your best. But internally, there's a loop playing out. A pattern, a frequency, a set of emotions and behaviors that repeat so seamlessly they begin to feel like personality. Fear, disguised as logic. Doubt framed as realism. Emotional suppression branded as strength. And the more they repeat, the deeper the timeline grooves itself into your reality. The stuckness you feel isn't just a mindset problem. It's not because you haven't journaled enough or said your affirmations with enough conviction. It's because your body is still wired to the familiar, and the familiar is old. It's a chemical, neurological, vibrational addiction to what you've known, even if what you've known has never felt fully aligned. You can consciously desire transformation, but if your subconscious believes the old timeline is safer, it will override your intention every time. This is why people loop. They try to change their lives with sheer willpower, forcing action on top of misaligned identity. They burn out, then blame themselves. They repeat mantras of abundance, but tighten with fear when money leaves their account. They visualize love, but shut down emotionally when intimacy gets too close. And they think, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I just need to try harder. But the quantum field doesn't respond to how hard you try. It responds to how aligned you are. Alignment isn't about perfection. It's about coherence. You can't fake your signal. You either embody the new frequency or you don't. And if you're feeling stuck, it's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because your current signal is still tuned to the identity of your old timeline. That identity isn't random. It was built slowly, through childhood conditioning, past experiences, and emotional imprints that told you what to expect from life. You internalized rules like, be small and you'll be safe. Don't trust others. Success comes with suffering. Stay in your lane. These beliefs are stored not just in your mind, but in your breath, your posture, your emotional reflexes. They become a vibrational imprint that plays on repeat until interrupted. And here's where it gets even more subtle. The ego, the part of you that's been trying to keep you safe, often wants to stay stuck. Not because it hates you, but because it's terrified of the unknown. Even the possibility of expansion can feel threatening to a system that equates safety with sameness. So every time you get close to shifting, your body whispers, let's not risk this. Let's go back to what we know. And without realizing it, you agree. This is why breakthrough often feels like breakdown first. You're not just letting go of habits, you're grieving the version of you that was trained to expect limitation. You're releasing a vibrational contract you never knowingly signed, and it's uncomfortable, because letting go of the familiar means stepping into a space where the new hasn't yet formed. That in-between space is the most sacred and most difficult place to be. It's where timelines are rewritten. So the next time you feel stuck, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Ask instead, what version of me is still holding on? What timeline am I still attuned to? And why does it still feel safer than what I truly want? Because until you change the version of you that's running the signal, the field has no choice but to mirror the same reality back. You're not trapped by circumstance. You're entangled with a frequency. The good news? Frequencies can be retuned. Signals can be shifted. But only when you're willing to release the safety of the loop and step into the unknown with trust. Not because you know what's coming, but because you finally believe you deserve what the old timeline could never offer. You can say all the right things, read every book, repeat your affirmations 10 times a day, and still feel like nothing is shifting. That's because the universe doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak any language at all, it speaks vibration. The quantum field responds to frequency, not vocabulary. It doesn't care what you say, it listens to what you are. This is the brutal truth many spiritual teachings glaze over. You can stand in front of the mirror and chant, "I am powerful." But if the emotion behind it is insecurity, if your body is tense with fear, if your nervous system is still vibrating with scarcity, then the message the field receives is lack, not power. It doesn't matter how beautiful your intentions are. If your vibration isn't aligned, the signal gets jammed. You've probably noticed this in your own life. When you were desperate for money, love, or success, and tried to manifest harder, it slipped further away. But when you stopped obsessing, when you softened, let go, relaxed into trust, suddenly it arrived. That's not a coincidence. That's coherence. That's you shifting from misalignment into congruence, from grasping into receiving. The truth is, the field mirrors your dominant state, not your best moments, not your morning rituals, but your average frequency across time. That's why the short bursts of motivation don't stick. You might feel inspired for an hour, even a day, but if you drop back into old energetic habits, fear, doubt, contraction, the field shifts with you. It always meets you where you are, not where you pretend to be. You can't cheat your vibration. You can't bypass your nervous system. The body knows whether you're living in truth or performance. This is why real change often feels like undoing more than doing. Because most people are performing the life they want instead of embodying it from within. You'll know the difference. Performance is exhausting. It's rigid, anxious, always reaching. Embodiment is quiet, grounded, and magnetic. You don't chase what's already aligned. You become a match, and the field responds, not because you demanded it, but because it had no choice. Think of your frequency as a song. Every emotion, thought, behavior, and belief is a note. When those notes clash, the melody becomes incoherent. That incoherence is what repels your desired reality, not because you're unworthy, but because the field cannot deliver a timeline that doesn't match your current song. When you shift your inner melody to harmony, to coherence, reality starts to harmonize with you, effortlessly. This is why some people seem to attract abundance with ease, while others struggle despite doing all the same things. It's not about the actions, it's about the tone behind them. Two people can launch the same business, speak the same affirmations, post the same content, yet one thrives and the other doesn't. Why? Because one is resonating from trust, from embodiment, while the other is still trapped in fear, masters ambition. You must begin to feel into your life as vibration. When you think about your goals, check in. Does your body expand or contract? When you speak your desires, do you feel open or tight? These are not subtle signals. They are the language of the field. You don't need to guess what you're manifesting. Your body tells you, every day, by how it feels when you think, act, or speak. The trap is trying to think your way into a new life, while still emotionally anchored to the old one. You may mentally say, "I'm ready," but if your energy says, "I don't trust this," the field listens to the latter. You may talk about wanting freedom, but if your actions reek of control and panic, the field sees you as someone who fears letting go. This is why alignment isn't something you achieve. It's something you become. The field is neutral. It isn't judging you. It's not punishing you. It's simply reflecting your dominant state of being. So if reality keeps giving you the same lesson, the same delay, the same discomfort, it's not because life is against you. It's because your frequency hasn't changed. Not truly. This is both confronting and empowering, because it means the moment you shift your vibration, genuinely, not performatively, the timeline has to shift. It's not a matter of if, but when. And sometimes, the lag you experience isn't the universe dragging its feet. It's your energy not staying consistent enough to anchor the shift. The takeaway? Stop focusing on what you want. Start focusing on who you're being. Become the signal. Train your body, your breath, your emotions to live in the frequency of the timeline you're calling in. Speak as that version of you. Walk like them. Breathe like them. Decide like them. and the quantum field will follow, because it always does. You are not thinking your life into existence. You are remembering it into form, again and again, through the subconscious patterns etched into your body, your emotions, and your nervous system. This is why affirmations alone don't work. This is why visualizing a better life doesn't always shift anything. Because while your conscious mind is focused on change, your subconscious is still anchored to survival. And the quantum field listens to that without fail. Right now, 95% of what you think, feel, and do is not conscious. It's automatic. It's pattern. It's memory. And those patterns are broadcasting a frequency that keeps looping you back into the same situations, relationships, and limitations, even while you're trying to grow. This isn't because you're broken. It's because your subconscious doesn't prioritize happiness. It prioritizes familiarity. The mind craves what it knows, and what it knows becomes your reality. Take a moment and really feel this. You are observing life through a lens that was installed before you had the capacity to choose it. Childhood wounds, societal conditioning, emotional shocks, they become internal programs that shape how you see the world. But here's the twist. In the quantum model, your observation creates reality. That means these old subconscious scripts are not just influencing how you feel. They are literally collapsing potential into form over and over again. This is why you can want to change and still feel stuck. Because wanting is conscious, but choosing is subconscious. Until your inner observer is updated, the field keeps delivering the same outcome. The version of you that wakes up afraid, that assumes love must be earned, that expects the worst. That's who's behind the wheel. Not your higher self, not your vision board, not your affirmations. And this is where most people give up. They think change isn't possible, or that life just isn't working for them. But the truth is, you've been manifesting perfectly. You've just been manifesting from your subconscious pain, not your conscious desire. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are, and what you are lives deeper than thought. It lives in your nervous system. It lives in the body's memory. You may consciously choose freedom, but if your body still associates risk with danger, you'll sabotage every opportunity to escape the familiar. You may want love, but if your subconscious learned early on that vulnerability leads to abandonment, you'll build walls before connection can ever arrive. And then you'll wonder why the universe isn't delivering, when in truth, you've been unconsciously signaling not yet. This is not to blame you, it's to free you. Because the moment you understand how deep the programming runs, you stop trying to fix the surface and start healing at the root. You start seeing procrastination, not as laziness, but as fear in disguise. You see overthinking not as indecision, but as your body trying to feel safe. These aren't flaws, they're signals. And when you decode them, the entire architecture of your life begins to shift. Reprogramming doesn't start with new thoughts. It starts with new safety. You cannot shift if your nervous system is still braced for attack. That's why regulation is the foundation of transformation. Breath work, presence, stillness, these aren't spiritual trends. They are gateways into coherence. They tell the body, it's safe to release. It's safe to receive. It's safe to become someone new. Because here's what quantum physics reminds us. The observer collapses the wave into particle. But when your observer is 95% unconscious, the version of you doing the collapsing is still stuck in the old timeline. Until you bring awareness to the subconscious and safety to the nervous system, you're collapsing reality from a version of you who doesn't believe in miracles, trust love, or feel worthy of more. This is the real inner work. Not bypassing, not pretending, not positive vibes only, but walking into the hidden basement of your mind, turning on the lights, and gently teaching your inner observer that life no longer has to be a fight. And when that shift happens, when safety replaces struggle, your vibration changes. And when your vibration changes, the field responds. Not because you begged it to, because it always does. Resistance is not weakness. It's not failure. It's not some broken part of you sabotaging your growth. Resistance is frequency. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Keep you aligned with the known. Keep you alive. Even if that means keeping you small. You see, we've been told that resistance is a sign we're doing something wrong, that if we were really aligned, the path would be smooth, the motivation would flow, and the growth would feel easy. But the truth is, the very moment you try to step into a new timeline, your body gets flooded with all the frequencies of the old one. That's not sabotage. That's the gravitational pull of your current vibration. So when you procrastinate, when you numb out, when you second-guess yourself into stillness, that's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because some part of you still believes that safety lives in the familiar, and the life you're trying to manifest, it's unfamiliar. Which means your nervous system sees it as a threat, even if your soul sees it as liberation. This is what no one tells you. Expansion is a biological process. You can't outthink it. You can't bully your way through it. You have to regulate it. When your system senses danger, it triggers old patterns, shutdown, perfectionism, avoidance. These aren't personal flaws. They're frequency signals, built into the wiring of your survival brain. They are echoes of an identity rooted in fear, still vibrating through your cells. So what do most people do when resistance shows up? They retreat, they give up, or they punish themselves into discipline, thinking they can shame their way into alignment. But that doesn't work. Because the field doesn't respond to your pressure, it responds to your presence. And presence only comes when the body feels safe. Let's say you decide to pursue a new timeline, maybe a new career, relationship, or identity. You feel the spark, the excitement. You start taking action. But then suddenly, the old habits creep in. You can't focus. You feel anxious. You start doubting every step. And before long, you're back where you started. Most people interpret this as failure, but in reality, this is your internal vibration surfacing, an invitation to meet yourself where the old timeline still lives. This is where real quantum shifting begins. Not with giant leaps, but with micro-integrations. With meeting resistance, not as an enemy, but as information. It's the body saying, I don't know how to feel safe here yet. And your job isn't to push through, it's to listen, to regulate, and to recalibrate the frequency of your safety. So the next time resistance shows up, pause. Ask yourself, what timeline is this resistance trying to protect? Whose version of safety am I still carrying? You'll begin to see that your fear isn't of failure. It's of becoming someone your past can't recognize. And that's terrifying to the part of you still anchored in old emotional truths. Remember, every new timeline requires a new vibration. But the bridge between frequencies is not motivation. It's nervous system coherence. It's creating conditions where the body feels safe enough to release its grip on the old. That's why breathwork isn't just a wellness practice, it's a frequency shift. That's why stillness matters. Because silence is where the signal stabilizes. This is how you collapse new realities. Not by pretending resistance isn't there, but by making space for it. By learning to soothe the system instead of forcing it. By becoming the frequency that holds expansion without triggering protection. Because the truth is, the quantum field doesn't reward intensity, it responds to resonance. You don't have to fight your way into a better life. You just have to become the version of you who no longer fears it. And the only way to do that is to create safety in the unknown. Nikola Tesla once said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Most people quote that line like it's a spiritual mantra, but they miss its full weight. Tesla wasn't offering a metaphor. He was telling the truth, stripped of superstition and wrapped in physics. Everything is vibration. Everything. Your body, your thoughts, your memories, your goals. They're all energy vibrating at specific frequencies. And the reality you experience is simply the one that matches your dominant frequency. This is the code behind the matrix. The mechanics of manifestation that no vision board or affirmation can override. If you are vibrating at guilt, you attract experiences that confirm guilt. If you are vibrating at confidence, you draw experiences that affirm your power. The quantum field is not listening for your words. It's scanning your vibration. And until you understand that frequency is your true language, you will keep trying to speak transformation in a dialect the universe doesn't recognize. Tesla pointed to the numbers 3, 6, and 9 as keys to understanding the universe, not because they were magic, but because they represent patterns in nature, geometry, magnetism, and resonance. These are the structures reality uses to organize itself. You don't need to be a physicist to feel it. You've already lived it. Think of the times your life just clicked, when things lined up effortlessly, people showed up at the right moment, ideas flowed, doors opened. That wasn't a coincidence. That was coherence. You were in tune with a frequency that matched ease. Alignment wasn't something you chased. It was something you became. And the reason most people never feel that again is because they treat vibration like a moment instead of a practice. They wait for motivation to lift them. They chase the next dopamine hit to spark movement. But vibration isn't about highs. It's about rhythm. It's about maintaining a state, even when nothing external seems to validate it yet. This is why you can't fake alignment. You can chant abundance all day, but if your nervous system is tuned to scarcity, the field will ignore your words and respond to your fear. The field doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. And until your internal vibration matches the frequency of the life you claim to desire, the field has no choice but to keep reflecting the one you're currently broadcasting. So, how do you change the frequency? It starts small. Breath, intention, movement, stillness. These aren't just practices, they're tuning forks. Every time you regulate your nervous system, every time you calm your thoughts, every time you choose gratitude instead of worry, you shift. Not metaphorically, literally. Your field of resonance changes, and the moment it does, different timelines begin to respond. This is why music affects mood, why nature recalibrates you, why some people feel draining and others feel inspiring. It's all frequency, and it's not personal, it's physics. You're not just reacting to life, you're harmonizing with it. And the quality of that harmony determines the shape of your reality. People often ask why things don't change even after years of mindset work. But mindset is only one layer. Vibration lives deeper. In your breath, your posture, your tone of voice, your sleeping patterns, your hormones. You can't think your way into a new timeline. You have to tune your way into it. So when Tesla spoke of energy, frequency, and vibration, he wasn't being poetic. He was handing you the control panel to reality. The only question is, are you finally ready to stop thinking about change and start vibrating with it? Knowing what you want is not the same as living from it. This is where most people get trapped in the spiritual echo chamber. Endless intention setting, journaling, vision boards, and affirmations. Yet nothing tangible ever shifts. Why? Because the field doesn't mirror what you write down. It mirrors who you are. Your identity, not your plans, is what creates reality. That's the real quantum law. You don't attract what you think about. You attract what you embody. Intention without embodiment is noise in the quantum field. It's like tuning into a radio station you never actually play. You might think about the frequency of success, love, abundance, peace. But if your body is still resonating with survival, then the signal you're sending is misaligned. The field picks up your dominant vibration, and that's always anchored in action, posture, breath, and presence, not just belief. Take abundance, for example. If you're constantly worrying about money, checking your bank balance in fear, or tightening your breath every time a bill comes in, then you're not living from abundance. You're living from lack, even if your mind says otherwise. The field listens to your behavior, far more than your words. You can't cheat it. You can't trick the system into thinking you're wealthy if you're still vibrating with the frequency of fear. This is why quantum shifts require more than mindset work. They demand embodiment. You must become the version of you who already lives the life you want. And that means more than visualizing success. It means showing up as that self in your everyday decisions, speaking as them, walking as them, making choices they would make, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. The question isn't, how do I manifest what I want? The question is, can I become the version of me who naturally receives it? That's what shifts timelines. The embodiment of a new identity, practiced so consistently that the old one simply falls away. Think of the quantum field like a mirror. It doesn't reflect your wishes. It reflects your dominant frequency. You can't fake coherence. You can't broadcast abundance while anchoring into scarcity. You can't vibrate with love while embodying self-judgment. The field knows the truth beneath your surface, and it responds to that, always. And this isn't about forcing yourself to act perfectly. It's about choosing alignment in micro moments. It's not about pretending to be fearless. It's about honoring your fear without letting it control your choices. It's about showing up, day after day, in alignment with the self you are becoming, not the self you're trying to escape. Embodiment is the missing link between vision and reality. The field doesn't wait to reflect your change once you arrive. It starts the moment you shift your signal. So if you want a new timeline, you must stop trying to think your way into it and start walking like you already live there. Most people mistake momentum for transformation. They attend a workshop, watch a powerful video, feel an energetic high, and declare that their life has changed. For a few days, maybe even a few weeks, they wake up earlier, journal, meditate, speak with intention. But then the old gravity creeps back in. Stress at work, emotional triggers, that familiar wave of doubt, and slowly, without realizing, they drift right back into the same version of themselves they thought they left behind. Why does this happen? Because energy spikes are not enough. What the quantum field responds to is sustained coherence, not occasional motivation. Real transformation isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or enlightenment highs. It's subtle, consistent, and rooted in repetition. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be persistent. The timeline doesn't shift for who you are in your best moments. It shifts for who you are consistently when no one is watching, when the highs wear off, when life gets messy and uncertain. The truth is, the field mirrors your habits, not your hype. And this is where most spiritual teachings fall short. They offer glimpses of potential, tools, visualizations, peak experiences, but they don't teach how to hold the signal. And holding the signal is what creates quantum shift. It's not how loudly you declare your intention. It's how silently you remain aligned when it would be easier to collapse back into your old self. Sustainable shift happens through micro-alignment, small, repeated choices that anchor a new identity into your nervous system and subconscious. Choosing the nourishing food over the convenient one, pausing to breathe instead of reacting, speaking your truth when it would be easier to stay quiet, taking the walk instead of numbing with your phone. These aren't minor actions, they are quantum instructions. Each one tells the field who you believe you are. And when your actions repeatedly confirm a new identity, the field has no choice but to reorganize around you. This is what makes true transformation feel so steady, so real. It doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing the right things consistently. Not to prove anything, but because you've embodied the shift. And once that embodiment becomes your baseline, the old timeline can no longer hold you. Its gravity breaks. Not because you pushed harder, but because you no longer vibrate in resonance with it. Don't chase temporary highs. They'll trick you into thinking change has already occurred, and then punish you when the energy wears off. Instead, root into daily coherence. Make the practice the point. Meditation, breathwork, movement, awareness. These are not rituals of self-improvement. They are rituals of frequency tuning. And just like a radio station, you must keep tuning if you want the signal to stay clear. The field isn't looking for occasional upgrades. It's looking for consistency. It wants to know, who are you when the excitement fades? Who are you when no one is watching? That's the signal that gets mirrored. That's the shift that lasts. Because in the end, Your life doesn't change from what you know, it changes from who you become. Sustainable alignment isn't a finish line, it's a frequency. And once you tune into it, reality begins to organize itself around your signal, not your struggle. The greatest illusion the system ever sold you was the idea that success has a universal definition. That it's a number in a bank account, a title on a business card, a certain kind of house in a certain kind of neighborhood. From a young age, you were fed a checklist and told that ticking it off would make you happy. But what if the checklist was never yours? What if the metrics of success that you're chasing were designed to keep you chasing, never arriving? This is where the quantum shift becomes more than personal. It becomes existential. Because once you realize that you're the observer collapsing potential into reality, you also realize you've been collapsing someone else's version of success all along. You've been living in a timeline shaped by external validation, approval, and inherited expectation. And deep down, you feel it, that gnawing sense that something isn't aligned, that this isn't the life your soul came here to live. Purpose isn't a career path. It's not something you discover out there after enough hustle, networking, or degrees. Purpose is a frequency. It's what naturally flows through you when you're aligned. And success, real success, is living in that frequency. Not because it looks impressive, but because it feels true. Because you wake up and there's no disconnect between what you do and who you are. Because you're not performing for the world, you're expressing your essence. Redefining success means having the courage to stop playing a game that was never designed for you to win. It means dropping the masks and asking, what do I actually want? Who do I become when no one's watching? And if no one ever applauded, would I still live this way? These are dangerous questions in a world addicted to image, but they're the only ones that lead you back to the truth. And here's the paradox. When you stop chasing external validation, you begin to emit a signal so powerful that the field can't ignore it. Not because you're louder, but because you're authentic. You're coherent. And coherence bends reality. It draws people, opportunities, synchronicities, not because you're seeking them, but because you've become the version of you who naturally receives them. That's the real magnetism. That's the quantum shift. Let go of the idea that your life needs to impress anyone. The truth is, most people are just projecting their own fears onto you. They want you to follow the script because they're terrified of what happens when someone doesn't. But you didn't come here to be predictable. You came here to embody a new possibility, one that only activates when you stop living for the algorithm and start living for the alignment. This is the new success. Freedom over fear, presence over performance, truth over trend. And the moment you stop asking for permission to live this way is the moment you reclaim your power as the architect of your own timeline. This isn't rebellion for the sake of being different. It's remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. And if you felt the call, if this resonates somewhere deep beyond logic, then it's not by accident. You're not just watching a video, you're remembering. A deeper intelligence within you already knows this path. All you're doing now is aligning with it. But don't let it stop here. If you've made it this far, then you know you're ready to go further. Join thousands of others waking up to this shift inside our free newsletter, Insights Academy. The knowledge we share there is uncensored and deeper than anything we're allowed to post on this platform. Plus, you'll receive a digital copy of the Kabbalion, a foundational text of Hermetic wisdom, for free. Not as a gift, but as a tool for your own awakening. The truth is, you were never meant to chase purpose. You were meant to become it. You were never here to just survive. You were here to transmit a frequency that reality can't help but respond to. That's the quantum shift. It starts within, but it echoes far beyond. If this video resonated with you, let us know by commenting, "I understood it."